Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And if you hadn't heard the news already, I'm here to bring it to you. It seems as if the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting victims, or the families of those shooting victims, those poor baby children, those poor babies from, this has got to be 13 years ago now almost, they are free to pursue Infowars assets to satisfy the debts they are owed. Judge Christopher Lopez ruled today, rejecting the arguments from lawyers for the company's owner, Alex Jones, that the assets' legal status were unclear. The litigation pause for Jones, which also prevents creditor collection efforts, doesn't apply. The Chapter 7 bankruptcy, I should say, doesn't apply to assets of Infowars' parent company, Free Speech Systems, LLC. Judge Christopher Lopez of the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in the Southern District of Texas said today during his hearing, Free Speech Systems' own bankruptcy proceedings were dismissed last year. Now, the language of the June 2024 dismissal order and subsequent related rulings is, according to Jones's lawyer, Ben Brooks, deeply confusing. Lopez fired back in frustration at the comments, saying that the language wasn't, quote, careful to avoid any misunderstanding and suggestion that Brooks isn't, quote, versed in bankruptcy law. That's a shot. That's a personal attack, bro. Now, the families of the victims have been embroiled in a lengthy legal battle with Jones, who, according to the ruling of a Connecticut court, he owes more than $1 billion, $1.4 billion to be exact, in judgments over claims of the 2012 Sandy Hook shootings being a hoax. Lopez's ruling on Wednesday today gave the families the clarity they sought after Jones was granted a hold in late August on a state court-appointed receiver, telling an appeals court that Free Speech Systems assets were property of Jones' Chapter 7 estate. These whole bankruptcy law things are just so fucking confusing. My brain is fried from writing this thing out and researching it. The parties didn't find it, quote unquote, clear that there was no automatic stay on Free Speech Systems assets, said Jones's other attorney, Shelby Jordan. How many attorneys does Alex have? He must be going bankrupt just off these lawyer fees. The Infowars parent bankruptcy dismissal ordered during the it didn't convert its assets into property of Jones's liquidating estate, Lopez said. The order deemed the assets to have vested as property of the estate, but it didn't convert them, he noted. Lopez is quoted as saying, the words mean what they mean. I'm going to tell you something. I read this thing. I wrote this thing twice. I read this thing like 6 times. I have no fucking clue what these people are talking about. I don't know what listen, these families need to, it's been 13 years. They need closure. And I know that that's very easy for me to say. But they're not going to get $1.4 billion from this guy. And they've even said that the money means nothing. They just want to shut down Infowars. Which makes them, I hate to say this, but it makes them the bad guys here. If you're going to sue the guy, you sue him. He was libelous, he was slander, it was wrong, it was terrible. But to shut down a information agency, you don't win any you don't win any favors here. And this is a slippery slope that these parents are getting involved in. Because if it can happen in Infowars, guess what? It could happen to anybody. And these people are just too stupid and too grieving to realize the picture is bigger than they are. The consequences of this are bigger than they are. This now sets precedent. And now you could do this to anybody, and you could shut anybody down, and you could sue them for $1.4 billion. And who came up with that number? Is that going to bring your kids back? Remember, these people, they're in Connecticut. That's as blue a state as your balls. Free Speech Systems dismissal ordered allowed for Jones liquidating trustee Christopher Murray to operate the company for a year, but that expired on September 25th. Lopez noted that he can't void an order that is already on its own terms void, referring to the decision that allowed Murray to operate free speech. Murray has nothing to do with Free Speech Systems anymore, but still holds the equity, Lopez said. The trustee noted that he is considering abandoning the equity, which Lopez previously said he could sell. The abandonment or sale of Free Speech Systems equity would take it out of the Jones estate. Now, here is what bothered me about this whole story. A judge last year denied Murray's attempt to sell Infowars assets to the satirical website The Onion. Why? You're looking for a buyer. That buyer is going to give you money. Why are you denying the sale? They then rejected a bid from First United American Cause Company or Cause or whatever, which allegedly has connections to Alex Jones. But again, why deny the sale if there's money involved in it? This seems more personal than anything else. It just seems like they want to just get Infowars off the air, and it's not going to happen. Listen. I watched a guy in 1997. He was broadcasting in his garage. You could broadcast anywhere now, and it's not gonna make a difference in the world when it comes to their family unit. Nothing. He's gonna go on. He's gonna be bigger than ever. And now these people are going to look like villains. And let me tell you something. They run these commercials on YouTube and all these places where they talk about gun control and all this stuff. They are looking more and more like political pawns than anything else. They need to go away. They need to stop that. This Charlie Kirk's wife, I know I'm ranting now. This Charlie Kirk's wife, the same thing. She's sitting in front of she's sitting in that desk of his, hooting and hollering and laughing and saying that she's going to get to work now. The grieving widow game only lasts so long. Now these people are getting involved in speech. And the protection of speech is bigger than any one person. It's got to be. It affects everybody. It affects everybody from now to as long as the country exists. Now, Jones is separately requesting that the U.S. Supreme Court review the Connecticut ruling, the $1.4 billion judgment against him and Infowars. So that's if the Supreme Court takes it, and the Supreme Court takes 1%, 2% of the cases presented to them. That's probably the last straw. That's probably the last straw. Now we have Jones here. He opened up his show today. We're not going to play the whole thing. It's like 20 minutes, but 17 minutes. But we'll play the first few minutes here just so he can make the announcement. Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
This is quite a moment for us here. We've held out for many, many years against the deep state and the system attacking us. And the federal judge that has been presented with all the corruption, all the fake auctions, all the fraud he's admitted that happened, just about 45 minutes ago said, hey, you can, the stay's lifted, you can seize Infowars. And so they don't want money. It's all an appeal anyways. They want to destroy it. They say in the news, we want to shut him down. That's our mission. Then they also say he won't give us money. He has hidden money, which isn't true. So it's the most deceptive garbage run by the Democrats, the DOJ previously. The current DOJ had an investigation going. Their idea, Ed Martin, it's cut and dry, the documents. That got killed last week by the deputy attorney general who really runs things. And that's where we are in the year 2025. So I'm going to go to break here for a moment. And then I'm going to go on with Harrison Smith and get more details of this. But it's been the fraud and the corruption and the stalking and the lies to shut us down. Obviously, it's me they want to silence and the guests and what we do here. And now the whole world is waking up. And you know, if they thought they could shut me down and shut all of you down, they fail. But it's a symbol. And the more they couldn't shut us down, the more they wanted to. And the more we survived, the more people said, oh, it's not real, even though I'm in court and in battles and having them get all my discovery and then leaking select stuff, you know, and just all of it. And I'm in the arena fight with everything I got. It's been a tiny percent of the listeners that have actually supported. And I'm not mad at the others that didn't, but when you stand up for us, you stand up for yourself. So all I ask for today is your prayers and that justice be done. But nobody keeps stuff in bankruptcy 3 years. Judge Lopez, a Trump appointee, has ruled 10 times in a row against them. This 11th time he didn't. He shut down their fake auction. He shut down, they sent in private security to shut us down. He did it on and on and on because it was illegal. He'd say, you can't do this. But now that the state courts got maneuvered in position, he said, fine, I'm Pontius Pilate. I wash my hands. And so you can do this. And they say they're going to come in and operate as us, pretend they're me. They said they own my name. They said the 13th Amendment against slavery doesn't apply to me. They literally said that in the filing almost a year ago. You can look it up. And to me, it's just, if they can get away with this, they can get away with anything. Yeah, I'll continue on. Hell, everybody's going to want me on. It's going to be a huge explosion. But it's a non-dischargeable debt. They want to harass me forever, which is fine. I mean, literally, I can just, the company I work for, can just have a company house. I just live there. I mean, I'm not even worried about that. It's just that the mass exercise of naked organized corruption by people raising $300 million, who've shown the documents off my name, while they claim I made money off them, barely ever even talked about these people, to watch the Democratic Party wear the dead skin of kids from Sandy Hook and then wear my skin and say I'm this villain that's done these things. It's all a premeditated psyop, and there's $74 million against Remington, bankrupting Remington, and being used as a weapon, a straw man they built against the First Amendment and the Second. This is a spiritual battle. But the judge did rule that the stay's lifted. So last time they had their fake auction, they were here the next morning. They had the fake auction November 13th. They were here the next day. Told me get out. I wouldn't, so they killed the internet. I went to the backup studio that I don't own, funded by Bigley and the AlexJonesStore.com. And again, I don't own that. They're going to run right into brick walls on that. And we have all these other sponsors. But that's why you need to go to the AlexJonesStore.com and support right now, because I don't want to just continue on with the shows we're doing now. I want to go at least 20 hours a day, 19 hours. I want to go like live 5 a.m. to midnight every day, because we need to be covering breaking news. We need to be putting the clips out. We need to be engaged in this fight. They want us off the air because we're so effective. That's why they panicked. But I told you Comey would be the first to be indicted 6 months ago. And I told you hundreds of times. Do I get an apology? I told you this is a real fight. And how are all you going to feel when they shut us down? They said, Alex is just hyping this up. I've given everything I've got to this. All I need you to do is realize this is a real fight. I'm fighting for you. So I'm fighting for myself. We all have collective freedoms. I fight for myself, but I'm fighting for you. And the minute you understand this is a war is the minute we really start winning. We have a tiny percentage of people that are engaged and committed and get this. If I could just get a few more percentage points of you to really engage by praying and spreading the word and financially supporting whoever you support, we can change the world. But I'm lucky they didn't just kill me. You know that was debated. No, don't turn him into a martyr. Shut him down, steal his identity, create a thing that's not him, a straw man, and use him as a fundraiser. I was blessed in their delusion. I thought it worked, but it backfired. Their official story, their lies, everything they've done has only made us bigger. And that's why they're so scared right now. And that's why now I'm in maximum physical danger from the deep state. And that's okay. I'm a big boy. But as long as I'm on the field, I'm going to give you 110% output. All I need is your backing and your prayer. Please pray for Infowars. Please pray for a miracle. All
right. So there you have it. I love the way he segues into commercials and to get you to buy his fucking vitamins or whatever the hell he's selling. But he's one of a kind. And listen, I hope he gets out of this. Like I said, I had a guy who I used to work with at the Fox who was from Austin. And this is 1997, and he told me, "You got to hear this guy. He's into shit that you're into, conspiracies and government stuff." And I tell you, Alex was this skinny guy with long hair. He had to be in somebody's garage, his dad's garage or something. And because he and I are the same age, and he turned out to be right on a lot of things. I mean, this motherfucker broke into Bohemian Grove. He was talking about the Bilderberg Group before anybody knew what the Bilderberg Group was, when it was a conspiracy theory. It was like, the government leaders don't all get together. He was talking about fluoride in the water and chemicals that make frogs gay. And, sometimes the Saul Alinsky, Machiavelli way of doing things, when somebody's telling the truth, you ridicule them. You make them look silly and stupid. That's what they try to do with Alex Jones. And let me tell you, he's been right about a lot of shit. When you're right, he's been right about a lot more than he's been wrong about. Sandy Hook, he was wrong. But a lot of the other stuff, he's been right about. But unfortunately, it only takes one wrong move to ruin your credibility, especially in news. Well, let's hope. Let's see if the Supreme Court picks this case up and throws that ruling out. It's very possible if it does, then Infowars will stay. Infowars is going to stay anyway. I just don't think it'll be I think they're just going to sell the cameras and the set and all that stuff. But these people are sick. What are they going to do? They're not going to get any money out of this. It's going to go all to the lawyers. But there it is. There's my 2 cents. And like Alex said, if you're an Alex Jones fan, give him a little prayer. Doesn't hurt. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Satan is always busy. Always, always busy. Be a man. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And just remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. Go Yanks. We'll see you later.